Hello, my Rise sisters. So today we're going to do things a little differently. By the way, I'm Charlotte Pendleton, and Nancy and I spoke about me doing this interview today. And I came back to her after writing a lot down on paper and just realizing it would be so much easier to do it if I just told my story instead of writing it. So here I am telling you my story the way we're doing things lately, which is virtual through video. And so here I go. So the first question is, who is Charlotte? Who are the parts of me that no one else sees? Well, I'm pretty open with people. I kind of feel like if you share everything, no one has anything on you. But yes, there's definitely parts of me that not everyone see and that they assume certain things. It's a hard question, I think, and I can be long-winded, so I will try not to be, but no promises, okay? I was born a child of the 60s and the youngest of three girls, and I was born in a very affluent area in Greenwich, Connecticut. And we looked like we had everything. We had a beautiful house near the beach in a private neighborhood. And I always felt like an imposter, like we looked like the part and acted like the part, but inside, like there was, a lot of shit storms going on, which was probably true of so many people. And I felt like I was the only one that had these dark secrets, and everyone has dark secrets in their family. So I know now that that's not true, but that's how I felt when I was little and growing up, until years and years later. But my parents struggled financially, and my mom was forced, those were her words, to start working when I was about 8. My dad continued to find jobs and lost them as fast as he found them. And my dad's parents really kept us floating, and my mom working and my dad here and there when he did jobs. And my older sisters were old enough to get jobs when they were old enough. I hope that makes sense. But when I look back, I think, and I'm just telling you a little bit about my parents just because I think they're such a big influence on why I'm the way that I am. And, I look at my dad's, like, a lot of these job losses, and I think that if he was in this day and age, he wouldn't have made it in the corporate world, because he just didn't have, I don't think he liked it or felt comfortable in it the way I feel now. He loved being in therapy, and he read books like The Road Less Traveled and The Zen and Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I think he would have been doing something to help people, like a life coach kind of person, if he was in this time. My mom, on the other hand, was always, similar to my dad, but they're very different people, was always looking for new and interesting ways to look and feel better. And she struggled with really bad insomnia. She had chronic muscle soreness and really struggled with her energy too. And she was like one of the first to do transcendental meditation and jogging in the 70s. And my dad suffered from bouts of severe depression and addiction, and I always felt like everyone else's family was perfect and that we had all these dark secrets, as I said, and now know that that's not true at all. So as a kid in school, and I will get to this is the parts you don't see. I really struggled in school. I was bored, I was lost. I didn't feel like I was smart. I wasn't a great student. And then in 3rd grade, I discovered gymnastics, and I loved it, and I was really good at it. And I gave everything to it, and I became, I trained at a private gym starting in 8th grade and competed all over all over the East Coast, and I ended up getting a full scholarship to college. And my entire youth I spent being intrigued with things that were all things like spiritual, things that you couldn't see. And anything, we used to call it New Agey. I think that term no longer really exists, but coupled with like, what else can I do to be better at my sport, to up my game, to be better in practice, to be better when I was out competing, because I had a lot of nerves that I had a hard time staying calm in competition. So was always looking into this and, how can I be better at doing gymnastics? What should I know about nutrition, sleeping, visualization, and like any practice that could help me. And I was just fascinated with the unknown, with like astrology and psychics and reincarnation and angels and God and all that stuff. Always diving into books on the side when I had time. And in college, I studied health science with a concentration in like exercise and fitness, because I loved the whole mind-body thing. And then I studied psychology too, and loved all of it. And I like became a really good student kind of overnight because I loved what I was studying. And after college, I ended up, during college, I sold memberships at a fitness club and worked at a fitness club doing various things. But I made so many sales, selling fitness memberships. They were like, you're a natural, you should go into sales. I'm like, all right, I don't know. I thought I was going to go into corporate fitness. This was in the 80s. So I spent 30 years in the corporate world, mostly in the IVF, in vitro fertilization, and the genetic space, selling fertility meds and launching startups and managing sales teams. And I also spent some time in life science recruiting and coaching professionals during career transitions, which I loved. I had a hard time making money at it, and I'll tell you more about that in a while. But the theme of feeling like an imposter, like I think the last 10 years in the corporate world, I just felt like I was starting to study more and more of these holistic modalities and energy healing, and I just started to feel like an imposter again. I just feel like I couldn't find my work home, and like, where was I meant to be? I loved all this stuff about mind body, and then I was selling different things that were either like medical or genetic testing or equipment for like incubators and kind of stuff. But I just didn't feel like it was my home where I belonged. And I was like, I also had the imposter complex. Like, I did really well for a long time in the corporate world, but I was like, when are people gonna find out, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing? Like, really, like, I don't know what I'm doing. And like, how have I had this much success? And I also I just felt like there was so much BS in the corporate world at times, that I had to mold myself to it. And I'm sure a lot of you have had the same stories. I know that a lot of you have. So I was always studying and learning something on the side. When I was like raising my two boys, I was divorced when they were pretty young, and we had joint custody, and they went back and forth, and we co-parented together. But on the side of my corporate life and raising my two boys, I was constantly studying I took astrology classes. I got a feng shui practitioner degree. I did Reiki healing, Reiki 1 and 2. I did a huge Kundalini yoga and meditation teacher training. And so there was always this sort of back and forth between the corporate and the spiritual world with me. And in between all that, also like the last 10 years, my drinking really amped up. I was drinking a lot, and it was kind of bleeding into everything that I was doing. And I was struggling with energy. I thought I had chronic fatigue. I was trying all these different diets. And in between all the drinking, I was doing a ton of Kundalini yoga and all my other like spiritual practices. But then I wasn't really walking the walk or talking the talk, because the drinking, I was poisoning myself every time. Like every 2 or 3 days I would tie one on, and then I'd feel like crap for 3 days. And so it all didn't go together until I stopped drinking like 16 months ago. But all right, so that's a lot for my who is like, what don't you know about me? So can you describe your business? The what? So my new business is a work in progress, and I do have a lot of things to offer, and I'm figuring out the best way to market it. And I have someone that I've that is going to do my website. And until I know exactly what I'm going to be offering, I'm not going to launch that. But I will tell you what I've been doing since December, where I prepared with my friend Mary Stuart Dyer, who I met at a Kundalini yoga retreat. And I had been like 2 weeks sober when I met her, and she had just come off from a year of sobriety. And we had a lot in common. And in November of this past year, we just started talking about like how we wanted to run a dry January, but make it 40 days, because in Kundalini yoga, you do everything for you do the kriyas and meditations for 40 days. And 40 days it's sort of biblical, but also there's some research around like breaking habits, and it takes 40 days to break a habit. So we came up with this idea, and we came up with a name, The Sober Adventure, because no one's going anywhere right now. It's like we're all stuck in our homes and everyone wants to travel. So I'm like, I don't want it to sound like sober's already kind of a hard word. So let's make it adventure. Like instead of a challenge, like let's have an adventure around all of it. So we came up with this idea. We started marketing it, and we started on January 4th of 2021, and we had 35 people that signed up with us, and it was on Facebook. It's actually still going on. We have people that have from the first session that have moved into the second session and finished their 40 days alcohol-free, most of them, and but we offered them daily content every day, and we named the days of the week. So like Monday was Mountain High Monday, and Tuesday was TripAdvisor Tuesday, and Wednesday was Wanderlust Wednesday, and Sunday was Sunday sharing, like we do on Rise, where two people would tell their stories of like what they were like when they were, before this in the pandemic, when they started to drink a lot more, and how they were feeling, and now that they had stopped, like how they were feeling. Basically just sharing their story. But then we had different things every single day. We had like science lessons on what alcohol does to the body. I taught, and Mary Stuart Dyer, we both taught different forms of yoga and meditation. I have all these wacky things that I love, like the Wim Hof Method and grounding and earthing and feng shui and Reiki, and I taught them different tools to use. We gave them a lot of tools and tips and advice and inspiration every single day. Everyone would check in every day, like day one of the adventure, and say what day they were on of non-drinking and how they were feeling, and we would all just jump in and cheer each other on, and everyone got really tight. Like the group they felt so safe to share with us, and Mary Stuart and I just would jump in and coach them along the way. And by the end of the 40 days, it was really amazing. And we had 14 out of like 35 that wanted to stay on. So we're just doing a small group right now, and we're, excuse me. And we're keeping the group, the content's a little lighter, but we're continuing on for another 40 days. And the group's getting even closer. And what I realized was like, there are a lot of groups out there that help people get through like 30 or 40 days, but no one was offering what we were offering, like with all the different tips and tools. And then we had them do journaling exercises, and we had a quote of the day, and it was a lot of work, but it was amazing work. It really was incredible. And we also offered 2 yoga classes weekly, 1 yin and 1 kundalini. So I've started teaching kundalini yoga again, which has really been nice. And we received, as I said, we received tremendous feedback from the program, and we're going to offer it again, just probably not for a little while. We'll see how this group goes. But I did want to tell you that I am going to be doing a prosperity workshop in the spring, possibly on like the spring equinox, but maybe a week or 2 later. And I want it to be a virtual retreat where I kick off with a really powerful Kundalini Yoga prosperity workshop, Kundalini Yoga prosperity Kriya, and then give people a feng shui 101 lesson, and and also all about setting intentions, and then do an hour or two where they do a vision board using the feng shui bagua principles. So a little bit different of a twist with so that's sort of loosely what I'm thinking of doing. And then maybe some healthy vegan recipes and stuff in between. So we'll see, but stay tuned. I'll have more information about it soon. But that's what I'm thinking of doing in the spring. And I'm just figuring it out as it goes. This my new business and what I want it to really look like and feel like and be. But I just want people to help people like up their game and thrive and learn how to deal with their feelings and learn how to shift their energy and their moods quickly. So, and have a lot of self-awareness. So, the why, what has led you to this work? And I think I've told you a lot of my story. You probably don't need to know that much more about it. But, I was always intrigued with all this spiritual, holistic stuff. And then I think combined with my selling pharmaceuticals and genetic testing and all that stuff and the science side, like I love the science combined with the holistic mind-body stuff. And then you bring in my business development, my sales experience, my managing teams and coaching teams, all of that together, those three things is kind of molding them all together. Like they all just came together, and I now feel like I like doing this sober adventure for 40 days. It was the first time I felt 1,000% at home at what I was doing, was getting so many people just thanking me constantly, and Mary Stewart for our help, and it's just, I know this is where I need to be. So I'm excited about that. It's been the most satisfying thing I've ever done in my life, which is pretty amazing. So that's really what led to that. Plus, I really did amp up my drinking, and I wanted to help people who were struggling, not like where they needed a physician to help them get off alcohol, or they needed to go to rehab, but those gray area drinkers like I was, where I would just tie one on and I didn't have an off switch, or people who were going through the pandemic and just kept drinking more and more and more because it was just, things were getting harder and it was easy to numb. It's easy to numb. So I felt like when I stopped drinking, it was like a black and white TV that went to color. It was mind-blowing, and I love how I feel, and I wanted to share that with other people, coupled with all the other things, the tools that Marion Stewart and I have. So, I think quitting drinking was a huge part of me really taking a leap into this other world outside of the corporate world. And, I want to help people feel their best. I really do. So where can you find me? Where can you visit and follow me? So I'm going to leave all the information on Facebook. You can find all that. And I will have a website at some point soon when I know what I want to put on it and call myself. And what rituals do I have? Oh my God, I have a lot that I need to do to stay on my game, because I have like an obsessive personality, and I have a lot of anxiety, and I don't sleep well all the time, so I need a lot. So the first thing I do, which I learned about this year, is called grounding and earthing, and is literally putting your feet on the ground, and you get tremendous energy from Mother Earth. And you can go on YouTube and watch the earthing video. It's freaking amazing. So I do this in rain, sleet, and snow. I go outside in the morning and outside at night. I put my feet on the ground and I get the earth's energy. I do the Wim Hof Method, and some people are like, oh my God, you're crazy. You take these cold showers. Anyway, I started really slowly, but the Wim Hof Method it's intense breathing. It's controlled hyperventilation combined with very cold baths or ice baths or showers. You can do 30 seconds, but I'm up to like 3 to 5 minutes. And that's, besides not drinking and Kundalini yoga, Wim Hof is mind-blowing. Like the way that it shifts your energy so quickly. I walk outside almost every day, a couple miles if I can. If I can't, I'll just walk 10 minutes just to get outside and get some fresh air. And that can really, that helps everyone, just being in nature. I write in my journal always. I don't miss a day ever. And I just write how I'm feeling and how I'm doing, and say a few prayers for my boys and for Mother Earth and whoever else needs them. And then I do Kundalini meditation. I teach 1 class a week, which I just started back again. I'm excited about that. I take 2 to 3 classes a week, and I'm always doing a 40-day meditation. Right now I'm doing Kirtan Kriya, and it's one of my favorite Kriyas ever. I think we're all going to do it together soon. So I think that's it. And I hope I didn't lose you along the way. But that's my story. And that's a little bit about my business and what my business may morph into. We'll see. And I just hope you're all doing okay. And it's so nice to have this opportunity to share who I am and really dig. This has been cathartic for me. So thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Rise Sisters. You guys are just the most amazing group of people. And I hope we all see each other together in person and get to hug soon.